The amount of love that you have for yourself is incomprehensible. And you may not even think that you love yourself because you don't work out and you don't do this and you don't do all the wonderful things that all the gurus tell us we need to be doing because we love ourselves. But this video is here for the people who aren't quite doing those things just yet, but they're aspiring to do those things because that's also a show of self-love. Now, one of the major reasons why people think that they don't love themselves is such a misunderstood concept, and that is nature versus nurture. How on earth can you know exactly how to love yourself and show up for yourself and have proper coping mechanisms to all the setbacks and all the grief that life throws at us if you've never seen it? If you've never been exposed to people who know how to act in adverse situations, if you haven't been exposed to real love in a healthy home, is it fair for me to tell you, oh, you don't love yourself, you don't eat well, you don't work out, you don't do this, you don't give yourself affirmations, you don't hug yourself in the morning, you don't hug trees? That's not really fair, and that's not really an accurate assumption. It assumes that we've all been nurtured from this basis or this very base level of love in the home, and a lot of us have not. Many of us are traumatized, all right? Everybody's traumatized in some degree. So I want to give you some signs in this video that let you know that you are indeed someone who loves yourself, and you do not have to always subscribe to how self-love is supposed to look in order to believe that you love yourself. Now, one of the main things that you know that you love yourself is that you have moments of self-kindness and compassion. Who in the world would be kind to something and compassionate to something if love didn't lead the way first? Think about that. There's times where you may have a few extra dollars and you go get your hair done, or you get your nails done, or maybe you even save it, or whatever it is, you eat something nice. All of those things that you're doing, you're attempting to try and show yourself some kindness. Someone who hates themselves doesn't do that. So don't ever make people think or make you think that just because it doesn't look a certain way that it's not love. Of course, we want to get a little deeper into doing those things like eating healthy, exercising, working out, but that's more healing. It's not necessarily displays of self-love. It's healing because we are just love. We are born from love. Before we came here, the whole idea of us was love. So how on earth can we be that removed from it? I personally don't believe we are. Now, sign number 2 that you actually love yourself way more than what the mainstream media gives it credit for is you have dreams and aspirations. You have them. They have not died in you. Right? Now, sometimes you may ignore them. Sometimes you may not listen to that little whisper that your heart, that your gut screams at you, but you have it there. Somebody who isn't really loving themselves wouldn't even have a need to make progress. Nobody stays stuck for the hell of it because they enjoy it, right? Even somebody homeless, some of them look like they all right, okay? I don't know. They seem like some of the happiest people. But most of the times we have dreams and aspirations and we're trying to do better or make progress because we care. We want to have a good impact in this world. We want to make sure that when we leave here, we've done something meaningful. And that's from a place of love, loving ourselves, but also loving our neighbor, loving our community, loving the people here after us. So if you have dreams and aspirations, that's also a major sign that you love yourself more than you think you do. Now, one of the biggest things and probably one of the most controversial things that I'll be saying on this video, another sign that you love yourself is you feel guilty from destructive behaviors. Now, destructive behaviors, maybe you overdrink, maybe you smoke too much, maybe you engage in things that just are not helpful for you, and it's obvious. It's taking toll on your body, it's taking toll on your money, your mind, and all things around you. It's just destroying things. But only somebody with a conscience, number 1, would feel negatively about it or feel any kind of remorse. In order for the feeling of remorse to even boil up in you, obviously there has to be a positive emotion there, like compassion, like the understanding and the knowing of kindness, but having the skill, or not having the skills, I should say, to really be able to follow through on that. So it's not that people are alcoholics or drug addicts or destructive or abusive because they like it. You can see from how angry they are at the world that they don't like it. And it's kind of a display of the fact that there is something deeper there, like love that's trying to come out, that's trying to express itself, but this person doesn't know what to do with it. And that goes back to what we said earlier about nature versus nurture. I remember this quote. It says, you wouldn't judge a fish's ability to climb a tree, or you wouldn't judge a fish's intelligence by its ability to climb a tree. It's not built to climb a tree. Its body is not made for tree. It doesn't have any kind of arms. So it's kind of similar in that regard. Why would you judge yourself based off of where you know you came from and how you know that you've had parents who were great people, well-meaning people, or, some of us not so much, but even that, it goes to show that there's so much that you just didn't learn, so much that you just didn't have. So now that we're adults at this big age and we think that we're so grown, I saw something the other day. It was like the average person is walking around 8 to 12 years old, emotionally and mentally. And I could believe that. If you look at the state of the world, it makes sense that there's a bunch of kids running this place. But that's a whole nother video. But I'm saying that because it shows how stunted we are. It's not about lack of self-love. It's just about lack of exposure, lack of proper coping mechanisms, lack of seeing people in healthy states that can help us and teach us. When we're children, we're looking to our elders to even know how to respond. When a child falls, the first thing they do is look at you to see if you're like, oh my God, my poor baby fell. And then they'll start screaming. Or if they look at you and they see you just like this, or you mind your business, they bounce back from it. You're constantly learning. So you have to remember that even though you're an adult, even though you're older now, in some ways, that's still affecting us, right? Looking at other people to form how we should feel, how we should think, and how we should act. So don't always look at yourself as though you're just this terrible person or you don't love yourself and, oh my God, I got to work on self-love. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I'm just saying I want you to challenge the more popularized version of what self-love is. Because I think when we lean into it in the way that I'm expressing in this video, I think what it does is offer us a deeper understanding of ourselves, and we open ourselves up to self-compassion. Because when we're compassionate to ourselves, that's how growth happens. Compassion talks about understanding ourselves and being kind to ourselves. And just because somebody done downed a pint of E&J, what should you do? Beat yourself up more? You're already beat up. You're already drunk. Your liver is toe up, right? So there's no virtue in beating yourself up mentally. So in that moment, lean in and ask myself like, damn, why am I doing this? Why am I so destructive in this regard? Where did I learn this? And that there is the beginning of your healing and you going on your classic self-love journey, where now you're eating healthy, you're drinking your juices, you're going to the gym, and you're doing all those things. But we have to understand that it starts not because of a lack of self-love, but because of lack of proper nurturing and proper exposure. Just making sure I didn't leave anything out. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave that here. I feel like this video was very needed, especially in this day and age of everybody making people feel some type of way because you don't live a certain way. And I know it probably seems weird for this channel to be talking about like, oh, that's not self-love, even though I promote juicing and going to the gym. But I would look at that as something you do on a healing journey or when your self-awareness is at a certain point. I had to be compassionate with myself first before I started doing this. I wasn't born in the damn gym or always eating healthy. This is a relatively new thing for me as well. But I got here because I was compassionate with myself and my shortcomings and what I wasn't and what I was. And that helped me heal. That helped me not want to be drinking on the weekends as much. I just did 3 months no liquor. I want to say that I was somebody who's like addicted or overly drank, but I'm out. If you're out on the weekends and you're drinking, that's pretty regular, and that's a little bit too much. I was gaining weight. My sleep was poor. I would wake up and feel like I'm still in a fog. I was like, oh, I gotta put this down. All right. But yeah, so I'm just saying all that to just level with you guys. I'm not coming from a place where I got it figured out. I don't. This is all very new. So what I'm just sharing with you guys is my findings. And I hope that this can be helpful. I am about to head to the gym. I don't have any juice today, guys. I didn't drink my damn juice. I have to go to the store and juice. Let me know if you guys want to see me doing the juices and making it and all that stuff, because I will record it if you guys want. But I'm headed off to the gym and I will be seeing you guys tomorrow. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.